All right, so hello. Don't know if anybody can hear me, but went ahead and went live. This is the real midnighter this time. Haven't been going late at night at midnight, even though first kind of got notoriety for going on Robert Meyer Burnett's midnight show. Been getting a little bit earlier, so thought I'd do something late at night, mix it up a little bit. The Kanye West live stream of his new album, well, third version of his 10th album just finished. So I was watching that. Just got done watching the new Candyman movie. That was very interesting too. So I thought I'd hop on here, talk about it, give my thoughts really quick, and just jump off because heavily doubt anybody is awake that subscribes to me right now. So I'm gonna keep it brief. Overall, Candyman, very good. Definitely worth a watch. Anybody that is interested in that movie should go check it out immediately. Anyone that likes good horror movies should check it out immediately. Um, does some interesting things with the themes brought up in the first movie. Um, Recontextualizes the character, the Candyman character. Um, I read a couple reviews that seemed like they were overwhelmed by the number of ideas presented in the film. Uh, I see that to a degree, but overall, I think it was a good time. Um, some of the reviewers also said it was too short, but I mean, I think it's an antidote for a typical film these days, which is usually an hour too long. So can't say I'm complaining about that. Um, what else? The performances were great. Tiana Paris, I believe she was in WandaVision, and this is a much better showcase for her talents than WandaVision. I was not the biggest WandaVision fan, but her performance here is really revelatory. She has a lot of great nuances in her performance, um, vocally, through her blocking, her movements, cadences, the way she's reciting the lines. She just makes it all very grounded, very believable. The ability to work within these two different worlds, um, kind of the more sophisticated art world, and her casual interactions with her boyfriend, both read really well. Both are equally compelling, equally believable in both roles and both uh, manifestations of her personality, her interests. Um, Her character has some layers, has some vulnerability that's hinted at and not fully explored. Um, but I think that works in the movie's favor because not everything is spelled out all the time. Um, Man, it's definitely the best looking film of the year. I thought that would be No Time to Die, the new James Bond movie, but this may give No Time to Die a run for its money. I I really can't even think of a movie that's looked as good in the last hmm, 5 years, maybe even more. Candyman is a great looking movie. This new Candyman looks much better than the original, but that's not fair. Now, the gore and the horror of the first movie is on a different level compared to this one. This new Candyman reboot or whatever it is, remake, I don't know what you would say. The new Candyman is serviceably scary. The the kills and stuff are creative, but I would have liked to see a little bit more. There are a few times jump cuts are used in the movie. Two or three of the jump cuts are actually excellent. They're really amazing, but there are probably 10 overall, and some of them kind of cut scenes short that probably could have breathed a little bit longer. But there are a few genius ones in there, so can't even really knock that. I guess you could say some of the ideas brought up in the film are underdeveloped, but I mean it talks about violence against African Americans in a variety of different manifestations. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around all of it in a comprehensive way. So think the filmmakers did the best they could with the time they had, with the topic they had. I can appreciate that, although they were trying to work through a lot of complicated philosophical and political issues, they still knew they were making a horror movie and tried to give people a horror movie first. Um, so yeah, that was that. Candyman, definitely worth your time. Doesn't take up a lot of time. Like I said, it's only 90 minutes. So not a very long movie at all, but a very dense 90 minutes, very interesting 90 minutes, um, very compelling 90 minutes. The lead, Yahya Abdul-Mateen, he's been Dr. Manhattan. He was cool there. He's gonna be Morpheus in the new Matrix movie, um, and now he's the lead here. I've really enjoyed him and everything. I think he was Black Manta in Aquaman too. So um, he's all over the place, but he always gives really compelling performances. I've really enjoyed it. Um, but yeah, Candyman was great. Very realistic depiction of what a person would do when placed in that Candyman horror scenario. So I thought that was really cool too. I thought the film overall just did a good job putting you in a believable world with this character at the center. Um, Great for fans of the original. If you've already seen the 1992 Candyman, then you're definitely going to enjoy this. If you haven't seen any of the Candyman films before, um, this is still a good movie. It might not mean the same thing. There might be a few little Easter eggs, little touches you might not recognize, but overall, it's just as good. Nothing about it suffers because of its connection to the original Candyman. Um, those that already know it will just have a deeper level of appreciation for the movie. Um, I mean, I'm not sure what the movie was trying to say necessarily, so I guess you could knock it for that. But again, it doesn't seem like the movie was trying to preach. I have seen some people say it was being overly didactic and just getting into really heavy-handed messages, but I think it just brought up topics that are hard to really parse or talk around without directly confronting them. And I thought it did a pretty good job of treating it with respect, but not really just going into a full dissertation. I believe there was a website though. There's a Candyman website that actually does have PhDs looking at it and going into super deep dissections. So there's that too. Um, what else? Oh, great cameos for the people that have already seen the first Candyman. A lot of good little clips, little tidbits, little Easter eggs for you, especially the actors that show up. Um, I'm really excited to see the next movie from Nita Costa now. I didn't really know much about her before this movie, but I watched a review from Beyond the Trailer before I saw the movie that mentioned that it was a really good looking movie and that she would be directing the Marvels next for Marvel. So I'm excited for that now. I definitely was not excited about that before, but her again, Tiana Parrish, who's coming back for that and was in WandaVision, this, and now will be returning for that Captain Marvel sequel. I definitely have high hopes for her and her performance in that movie. Um, I don't know. There's really not too many. I really didn't have any complaints with the movie. Um, Maybe I mean I kind of see where people come from with the twists and turns the movie takes can be a little unpredictable, but I feel like they're still fun. The I guess that would be my criticism is the CGI was not that good. Um, but I really don't like CGI effects or computer generated effects in movies anyway, especially horror movies. I feel like it's really easy to spot when something's CGI in a horror movie because horror movies usually rely so much on animatronics, on prosthetics that when they start to veer over into that superhero, rubbery, uh, glossy, strangely lit CGI stuff. It's pretty easy to tell it apart. Um, so yeah, the CGI needed some work, but it was used creatively. And at times I couldn't complain because it added a different flavor and kind of deepened the experience. But there were definitely a few moments where the CGI came out and I groaned. It was rough. There were definitely some rough patches in there. Um, guess moving on to the Kanye West component of my quick little video. Um, I heard the original Kanye West album live stream, but I didn't really listen to the second one. But then I heard that some things were different, so I decided to jump in and listen to this one. Compared to the first one, songs were definitely rearranged. Um, album seems like it gets longer each time though, which I guess is really not a criticism, just kind of an observation, depending on your mileage related to Kanye West. He's also kind of turned into like a rapping DJ Khaled, and now the album is not him primarily; it's more his guests, and he just hops in to give a motivational gospel verse. Um, Thematically, strangely enough, the Kanye West album and Candyman do kind of mesh. So Candyman and Kanye West have a few things in common. Of course, Candyman takes place in Chicago. Kanye West's album release for the second time was in Chicago too. The topics mentioned by Candyman, the topics mentioned by Kanye West are both fairly similar. Both deal with police brutality, with gentrification, African American interactions with law enforcement and with each other. So there were definitely a few cosmetic similarities, surface level similarities, and then a few deeper thematic similarities too. Um, but in a lot of ways, I guess the Kanye West album was also kind of an inverse to what was being done with the uh, the Candyman movie. Candyman movie was pretty light on its feet, moved quickly, had a few references to the past, but was pretty much concerned with moving forward, growth, and development. The Kanye West album was really long and really didn't have a primary focus. It was long because it was trying to do a lot of things at one time. It was talking about the past. It was talking about Kanye West life before being a rapper, his time when he was no longer rapping and took a little hiatus, dealing with his mother's death, dealing with uh, police reform, dealing with prison reform, dealing with running for president, dealing with managing different rap beefs, dealing with the divorce, dealing with, I guess, reconciliation. So the Kanye West album is all over the place, reaching for a lot of different things, going for a lot of different ideas. Candyman movie was also reaching for a lot of different things and going for a lot of different ideas, but the Candyman movie was also brief. And you could definitely never say the Kanye West album that we just heard, the Donda version 3 album, was brief. There was definitely nothing brief about it. Um, it was very involved. I guess you could say it was belabored, but I kind of I like some of the changes that were made, um, not just between this album and the one that was played back in July, but between this album and things that have leaked online, um, different versions of his last album, Jesus King, and then the album before that that was supposed to come out, Yandi. So um, in comparison to Yandi, you definitely see some tracks return. I believe more tracks were supposed to come over from Yandi based on different little things I've seen online and track listings and stuff, but the order was rearranged and tracks were removed. Um, I believe Jay-Z was removed from this version, the most recent version. Um, but the features are well used. Again, Kanye West is kind of like in a DJ Khaled mode in music release and production right now. He kind of curates. He'll bring together a variety of voices. He's not even the first voice in this newest version of his album, um, which was interesting. The album had an interesting theme, and I think the key theme of Kanye West's album is also the key theme of the Candyman movie, where you're looking at a villain and trying to redeem that villain and create empathy for the villain, create sympathy for uh, the character. Is the Candyman an anti-hero or a villain? Is Kanye West an anti-hero or a villain? Kanye West also seems to go out of his way to try to create a moral quandary for listeners and try to build empathy for people that generally don't deserve it, or society has deemed unworthy of empathy or uh, sympathy or understanding. So it seems like that central thrust is in common in both Candyman and in Kanye West's new album Donda. Um, there's an interesting gentrification component too. There's the gentrification brought up in Candyman that's pretty much unavoidable. I believe they even had to use CGI recreations of Cabrini Green in Chicago because it had been gentrified so drastically that they couldn't really use a lot of the Chicago geography they wanted to use. Then on the other end of that equation, on the flip side, Kanye West seems to have recreated his childhood home to premiere the Donda album. Um, and there's quite a lot to pull just in between those comparisons and looking at what the uh, the Kanye West home, his childhood home, means to him, and why it was used symbolically throughout the album listing, and then what Cabrini Green means in Candyman, and why it keeps getting brought back and changed, recontextualized, uh, I guess reinvented, reinvigorated, considered haunted, uh, considered something to be embarrassed by, something to be proud of. Um, there were a lot of interesting details and interesting touches brought into the Candyman film and into the Kanye West listening party that I guess you just kind of have to be keyed in for, be in the mood for to catch on to. Um, Kanye West album had some pretty interesting features. The album was primarily features, really. I guess I wouldn't want to spoil it because I don't know how many people are like me, but anytime I listen to a new album, especially from rappers, I don't want to know who the features are. I don't want to know what's going to happen in the album going into it. I like to get people's general ideas, see what's going on, and then from there, just make up my own mind, decide for myself. Oh, hey, what's going on? I didn't realize you were going to be over here. I didn't know you'd be up. I'm just um, talking. How's it going for you? For me, it's the same old on YouTube, uh, streaming, talking nonsense. Um, saw the new Candyman movie, kind of discussed that. That's about it. Um, it was definitely interesting. What's going on with you? Seen any good movies lately? Um, I see you're making a movie. How's the movie making going? How's that process working for you? The brainstorming process, the editing process, the development phase. Okay, just chilling. All right. Um, I know you're not too big into horror, but I mean, are there any horror movies you like, or um, anything, any films you want to get into a little bit deeper? Oh, watch Stargate, the movie from the '90s. It's going good. Okay, Stargate. I don't know if I know Stargate. Um, what's the gist of Stargate though? Seems like it'd be something I'd like if it's science fiction. What's um what's Stargate about? Oh, I guess quickly before I get off into conversation on Stargate, for those people that are interested in Stargate, Kanye West album is pretty good. Definitely go check it out. It's really long, so your mileage may vary. You might not want to listen to all of it. And the Candyman movie is really short, but also had a lot of things going on. Both are good. Both worth your time. Just depends on how much time you want to give into it. Give to the Kanye West album and the Candyman movie. Both require some reflection and some input from the audience to kind of build on the message that's presented. But yeah, anyway, thumbs up for both of them. Go check them out. But yeah, I want you to know what you have going on. What's up with Stargate? What made you want to watch the Stargate movie? I know nothing about Stargate. Jeepers Creepers. Oh, okay. Or we can do the horror movie conversation. That's cool. Jeepers Creepers. I was scared, but ended up liking it. Yeah, Jeepers Creepers. I like Jeepers Creepers. I guess the guy that created Jeepers Creepers is some kind of predator or something. So I don't know. That film series kind of seems to have taken on a dark context, but I liked it. I like the idea of it. I think the Jeepers Creepers monsters are really effective. Definitely the best monster since Freddy Krueger. I don't think any other horror movie characters have been as good. Even Chucky, which I like, is not as good as uh, Jeepers Creepers, because I think Jeepers Creepers is something that it's just a very visceral, very dynamic fight or flight type of response. This creature is going to eat you and won't stop until it eats you. So you either have to kill it or escape somehow, but there's no way to just try to wait it out or outlast it, or because it has superhuman powers, it can fly. So you really have to. It's a fight or flight situation. That's mostly fight because it has so many avenues to attack you from. It's hard to really defend yourself long enough to get away until its feasting time ends. So yeah, I like Jeepers Creepers. I think part two was good. I don't really remember three. It's been a while since I watched three, but one and two are always fun. I always watch them. They used to come on Sci-Fi Channel quite a bit. I don't know if they have Sci-Fi in Canada. Boo. Stargate tried to be like the new Star Wars. It has its fans. They made series on it, and the movie is basically character art. Okay. Stargate is like the new Star Wars. I don't know if I would ever accept something else besides Star Wars as the new Star Wars. What's a new science fiction franchise that actually worked for me? I guess Mass Effect was good, but I don't know if Mass Effect was ever trying to be the new Star Wars. What is another? John Carpenter, ironically, John Carter of Mars from Disney was a cool new Star Wars, but it's actually based on something written from before Star Wars, but I really enjoyed it a lot. I hated Avatar, so I don't know what that was supposed to be. I think Avatar was supposed to be the new Star Wars, but it was just the new prequel trilogy all wrapped up in one movie. That was really bad. The technology was interesting. I'm surprised more people haven't tried to do more with that technology, but yeah, there was nothing really going on that blew my hair back with Avatar. And I can't think of any other sci-fi franchises right now off the top of my head. Whoa, I did not know that. Yeah, homeboy from Jeepers Creepers was not a good person. I think he got brought up on charges. That's unfortunate. Jeepers Creepers was a big part of my childhood. I did not want to look out the window. Yeah, I agree. Jeepers Creepers did a good job. I feel like the way some people feel about, I don't know, the water with Jaws, how I feel about buses with Jeepers Creepers, school buses. So yeah, I'm with you on that. Jeepers Creepers, there are a lot of great images, just the cornfield, just the heat. You can really feel how hot, how sweaty, dusty, crusty everything is in Jeepers Creepers. It's got a great texture to it and a great grit to it that a lot of movies don't have. A lot of movies still don't have. But it reminds me kind of like, it reminds me of Wrong Turn, the movie Wrong Turn, or The Devil's Rejects. That kind of also has that little grit, that texture to it, that dirt to it. Did not want to look out the window on the car for the longest time, thinking I was seeing them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Jeepers Creepers does a good job getting you, like I said, kind of getting you with that lizard brain, because it's a fight or flight type situation. You don't really have time to think. You just have to react to it, and it's pretty disturbing. Um, I agree. It looked great. Oh yeah. Hills Have Eyes. I forgot about that. Yeah, The Hills Have Eyes, the remake. Um, that definitely did have a similar vibe. The Hills Have Eyes remake, that movie, The Crazies, with I think The Crazies was a remake too with Timothy Olyphant. I think that was a remake, but that was also kind of in the same vein, texture wise, setting wise, being kind of out in the country type. Um, Let me see. Hills Have Eyes, I think, was Wes Craven the original. I don't know. I don't know how much you care about the original Hills Have Eyes, but I mean, Wes Craven is, of course, the genius of horror. Um, you could argue Candyman was kind of Wes Craven esque. Both versions of Candyman were kind of Wes Craven esque because they had some kind of a commentary laced in with horror, which was mostly his thing to have the horror working on one level and then the satire, some kind of social commentary working on another level. Um, I don't think there were any other people in horror operating quite in that mode at the same time as Wes Craven. I mean, I guess you could say George Romero started it with his zombie films, um, but I think Wes Craven kind of honed it down into an art, and then by the time he got to something like Scream, it was a perfect balance of criticism or satire and horror. So, uh, Hills Have Eyes, I want to say the remake was by, oh my goodness, I want to say the man's name was Alejandro. Why can I not remember his name? I don't know. I liked it though. It was. I like both Hills Have Eyes. Don't like the new Last House on the Left. I think the original was enough. Um, what else is there? Um, what's another horror movie? Has some little grit and has some pizzazz to it. Man, I can't even think of what a good looking horror movie has been that I've seen recently. I mean, James Wan's movies, I guess they always look good. So no surprises there. The Annabelle movie, Annabelle Comes Home, that was also surprisingly good looking. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to think of what horror movies actually had a cool look, a unique look. Not too many are coming to mind. Oh shucks, it was on HBO Max though. What was that? The Haunt, The Haunted. Man, I gotta look it up. Shucks, what's that movie called? Mm, Fart. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, Empty Man. Was it? I think it was the Empty Man. I want to say the director of the Empty Man was David Fincher's director of photography. But yeah, Empty Man was great. That's on HBO Max. Everybody go check out Empty Man. Uh, I had no expectations for just some random movie, but I read somebody online and then kind of was really good. Uh, what are your thoughts on Origins movie? I didn't know Texas Chainsaw Origin. Let me look it up. Is that the one that had Trey Songz? Oh, Leatherface. Yeah, I think that was. I think that was a movie with Leatherface. I mean, with Leatherface. I think that was a movie Trey Songz. Let me see. Leatherface. One of them was super low budgety. I can't remember which one it was. It felt very low budget and it was like weirdly sketchy. Uh, Teenage Leatherface escaped from a mental institution. Oh, it's homegirl from The Conjuring is in it. Stephen Dorff. Oh man, no, I don't. What? Finn Jones. Oh, this is a trip. I don't think I've ever seen this. The Leatherface origin movie. Oh, this seems like this is kind of crazy. I'm gonna have to check that out. The new Leatherface. Or I mean, the new. Is this the newest Leatherface movie? Because I saw one. Think, oh, it was Texas Chainsaw 3D. That's the last one. I saw Texas Chainsaw 3D. So that's the one where Things went complete. Oh, dang, I got a lot of likes out of nowhere. I got like 2 likes. So thank you to whoever added those extra 2 likes from the video. I appreciate it. Um, man, are they making? Because actually, I like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original. Then I think there's one with Matthew McConaughey, and then there's the remake with Jessica Biel. I like that one too. Not as much as the original, but it wasn't as much of an abomination as it could have been. And then I think the same guy directed that. He directed the Friday the 13th remake, which I also didn't think was that bad. And what else did he direct? Maybe the Conan movie with Jason Momoa, which I definitely like. I don't know. I guess I'll get in trouble. I don't know if I'll start getting people leaving the chat because I like that Conan movie. But I thought Jason Momoa was a cool Conan. Thought it was a good movie. I was hurt there was no franchise after that. I thought he would have done really good. Then he ended up with a franchise anyway with Aquaman, so they could have had him probably like 10 years earlier. Conan was pretty good minute ago. Uh, but yeah, overall, my thoughts on Texas Chainsaw are yes. I mean, I'm from Texas. I remember growing up, my mom was raised in the area where the Texas Chainsaw movie was filmed. So she used to just tell us, "Oh yeah, it was over here, and this is the house. This is where they escaped. The police were there, and it really happened, and blah blah blah." So my mom used to just tell us all kind of crazy stories late at night as we were driving back and forth between Houston and Austin, uh, because the film takes place kind of in northern Austin. Well, it was filmed in northern Austin. I guess it's just supposed to be a generic area of Texas. I don't think it's ever really specified where in Texas. But yeah, I really enjoyed all the Texas Chainsaw Massacres. It bothered me to watch them for a long time. When I very first watched them, I watched the Jessica Biel version first. Um, and then my mom's story did not help because she gave us this ridiculous story, and then in the remake they have this footage at the end, like found footage, as if real officers were going into the Leatherface house, and then Leatherface jumps out and attacks them. So that didn't help anything. And I was maybe 10 or so when that movie came out, 10 or 11. So I definitely thought the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was real for quite a while. Um, but yeah, I love that franchise. I love the more grounded horror, the more realistic stuff. That Psycho, um, Silence of the Lambs, things that have a tangible quality. I mean, I like things like Chucky, where a serial killer is possessed by the doll, but that's just because Brad Dourif is just such an amazing voice. His vocal performance is so captivating, and the animatronics in the original Child's Play are just so out of left field and technically amazing when you think about the time it was made, the stuff they were able to do with like animatronics and using little people, and just overall it was just smart. Child's Play was ridiculous over the top, but the Leatherface movies are, well, the original Texas Chainsaw movie is ridiculous, but it's ridiculous in a way that's surreal because it's ridiculous in a realistic setting. Only Leatherface is ridiculous. Everything else about the world and the setting and the characters are all realistic. So to just have this one out of place maniac in a world that's completely the same as the average everyday world, to the point to where the movie almost looks like a documentary, is really the part that makes Texas Chainsaw stand out. The fact that it's really uncomfortable. It looks like the actress is sweating a lot. Looks like the rest of the actors are sweating. Um, they filmed the movie up close. There's like some crazy zooms. Um, the camera seems like sometimes it's kind of caught off guard or it's trying to catch up to where the characters are moving. Um, there are just crazy guttural screams, like real legitimate screams, as if these people are really um, just kind of confused and being taken off guard. And um, there's just there's something really distinct and memorable about Leatherface popping up, and just, if you're not expecting that, it just comes out of nowhere to have this large man with these people on meat hoods, and everything about the concept is just totally out of left field if you've never heard of the character or been exposed to the movies before. Um, what else? I don't know. I like the Chainsaw movies. The one Trey songs in it was kind of dumb. It didn't really make sense. I think the actors that they used were terrible, and they also didn't act in a logical way. Um, they didn't try to escape as soon as possible versus in the original Texas Chainsaw, they pretty much tried to escape as soon as they could. They tried to escape uh, early and often, so it was realistic in that way. If I had the money and the people, I would make a horror movie about the Indian residential schools. Um, yeah, overall, there's some interesting topics that can be tackled when it comes to Indians that I'm surprised more people haven't gotten into. To your point, the Indian re-education schools, forcing Indians to wear Western clothing, to adopt English or other Western languages. Um, just the even something as simple as like, well, not simple, but even something as surface level to the Indian experience in America or in North America as like Trail of Tears or um, these multiple skirmishes that Indians had with uh, European settlers all across the continent. I mean, when you think about it, if one day you're just living your life and then the next day, people are coming in, blowing people's heads off, passing out these blankets to give everybody diseases and rashes and kill people. I mean, it is like a horror movie if you're an Indian just in a scenic world, in a beautiful world, and then all of a sudden everything goes insane and never goes back to being the same again. People, you know, uh, either kill you or move you around all these different camps and force you to move to reservations. Like there's a lot to pull apart in the Indian experience that um, has never really been fully uncovered or fully explored. Not to mention what you said before when it comes to Indian folklore, Indian myth, monsters, um, and a lot of those monsters are scary and interesting visually because they blend in with their environments and because the monsters change, the types of monsters and their anatomy changes depending on where and what tribe you're dealing with. Um, so there's definitely a lot to pull from in uh, Indian history and culture. Uh, yeah, and the Catholicism, that's an important angle too. The religious imagery, the Catholicism, it's even like The Exorcist to a certain degree. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot to pull apart in just the Catholic Church for people to dissect, for people to be horrified by, without even bringing in other types of people or other religious groups. Just looking at what the Catholic Church does to Catholics, there's a lot of horrifying stuff there to pull apart and explore and reveal that has never really been revealed. Um, I agree. The realistic horror gets to the most. Yeah, I enjoy the realistic horror, but I just got through watching American Horror Story season 10. I've been kind of in and out of all American Horror Story seasons. I kind of pop in for a little bit and pop back out. And man, the new American Horror Story season is pretty awesome. I thought it was going to go like a Shining route because it deals with the same themes as The Shining, but it becomes more blatantly supernatural. The Shining is kind of like it takes a step towards something real, step towards something crazy, step towards something real, step towards something crazy. Where American Horror Story starts off real, 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 kind of weird, real, very weird, and real and super crazy. And it goes all the way to the crazy extreme and then kind of pulls itself back like, oh, that was just a bad dream, which is interesting as a narrative technique to really freak your audience out. But then like, no, that didn't happen. It's fine. They're going about their business. That was in the past, or maybe didn't happen at all. Then it just flips and goes crazy. Um, and then you're just in this nonstop thriller minute mode. James Wan does that to a certain degree too with his jump scares a lot of times. Um, but yeah, the realistic horror is definitely the best. Although I don't think American Horror Story be considered realistic, but I like it. It's all right. Looking forward to the third episode coming soon. Um, yeah, anything else you want to get into? Yeah, Shutter. Yeah, Shutter can be a little intense sometimes, but Shutter has a lot of good movies. Shutter has Channel Zero. I like Channel Zero a lot. Um, it was kind of weird. I feel like they tried to cram a lot of ideas into one place, and then also it kind of rushed. It was it was cramming stuff and rushing, but also certain scenes and certain episodes seemed really slow. So Channel Zero sometimes kind of has some pacing things going on, but man, the Butcher Block season was so weird and so interesting and had some great ideas. I don't know if one of the season. I don't know if it was 3 seasons or 4 seasons. There's a haunted house season, uh, weird creatures coming out the basement season, and what's the first season? The little evil TV show. I don't know. Anyway, it's cool. Channel Zero is good. Shutter is good. Shutter has a lot of free trials that come out too, so they usually have a lot of good free trials, good foreign horror movies. Sometimes they have just good old classics like Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. Saw that because it came on Shutter. Um, Shutter has a lot of stuff. Pretty robust library, not even just horror. Sometimes Shutter verges off into thrillers, psychological thrillers or foreign thrillers. I want to say maybe I saw The Devil was on there at one point. I watched it there. Can't remember, but yeah, Shutter is definitely good. Um, I had that subscription for a while, like a year ago. I think I turned it off once Disney Plus got created. I had to like pick what subscription I was going to have, and my kids use Disney Plus more than I would use Shutter, so I think I switched it off. I can't remember. I had it for quite a while though, so there were a lot of good movies on Shutter. You definitely get your money's worth. I watched the movie Horror Noir that was interesting. It kind of broke down the history of minorities in horror films. That was kind of fun. Uh, I'm trying to think. I watched a good amount of horror movies on Shutter, and their Shutter, the exclusive from Shutter, also had a pretty decent quality. I want to say maybe I watched that French film Raw on Shutter. Anyway, it's good. Never a bad time to watch Shutter. Mm, I think of what else I can talk about. Right now, the only thing on my mind like the Candyman stuff and the Kanye West album. Anybody want to talk about some video games or movies or something like that? No, I don't know. I'm pretty much open now. If anybody got a suggestion for a movie or a video game y'all want to chat about or a TV show or um, I don't know, kind of open to whatever y'all want to talk about. Sometimes the chat's a little delayed. Uh, I guess rap, since you were turning me on to some Drain rap. Uh, definitely open to that. 2010, the year we made contact. Where can I watch that at? 2010, the year we made contact. Oh, man. Oh, it's just on YouTube. Hmm. Mm-mm-mm. I don't know. Guess I'll have to look for it. I haven't seen it yet, but I just tried to see if it was on streaming because I would just watch it now while I'm on the stream, but nobody has it on streaming right Where did you see it? Did you rent it from like an Amazon.com or something? Or did you watch it digitally? Or how did you watch it? How did you get to it? Seems good. If it has John Lithgow, it is good. So can't be that bad. He's always steered me to the right places. He's never done me wrong before. Oh, you just rented off of Amazon Prime. Guess I'll just have to do that because there's a few movies I need to just go ahead and watch, but I've been putting it off. I guess that's my fault. I don't know. I definitely have gaps in my science fiction because I haven't read any Isaac Asimov, and I believe he's the original creator of robots or original creator of the robotic laws, the concepts that people tend to use in science fiction to govern their robots or test if a robot is human. I think he came up with the robot human test too. I don't know, can't remember. But yeah, I have gaps in my science fiction. I'm trying to think of what is a good science fiction story though. Of course, Ghost in the Shell. That's nothing new. Everybody knows Ghost in the Shell. Um, Inception, but everybody knows Inception too. Dark City. I guess Dark City is like a horror sci-fi. I don't know if anyone knows about Dark City. Around the time of the Matrix, that was a good one. The Matrix itself, also interesting. Curious to see where Matrix 4 is going to go, especially since one of the Wachowskis is out of it. So I feel like that means it could go a few places, really. It could be good or bad. I don't know which of the Wachowskis was sorry, which one was good, because last few has been rough, but always a chance. If M. Night Shyamalan can redeem himself with The Visit and then Split, then no reason to believe the Wachowskis can't bounce back from making Cloud Atlas and Jupiter Ascending. Man, the movies is bad. Both of them movies are really bad. What a word. Thinks it's bad. Well, they're really trash. So yeah, that's that. Want to talk about anything? If not, uh, guess I'll catch y'all tomorrow or Monday. I don't know. Did you see the new Saints Row trailer? I thought it was trash. The new Saints Row has lost all the personality. My goodness. That new trailer was not any good at all. Saints Row 3 was amazing because it was specific, because it was goofy, it was strange, it had Professor Genki, it had all these different elements that separated it. Different cool weapons, the chicken gun, driving, escorting a tiger around like a hangover type mission. Saints Row 3 was so interesting, and then the new Saints Row reboot, people thought it was Fortnite. Um, it's so strange. The new Saints Row redesigns look like Fortnite skins or like just anonymous hipster. Oh, I'm a action hero girl. Like I'm a little head shave. Like it looks so anonymous and gray. It wasn't bright at all. It just looked pedestrian. I don't know what it is about making black men in entertainment right now super feminine, and it's kind of strange. But like the black guy was really skinny and had a little tie and glad like a bow tie, like he was supposed to be twee. I don't know. I didn't understand it. It was very strange. But it's happening in that, in Batwoman. It's like a recurring trope in the comic books right now on the, I want to say maybe Children of the Adam X Force comic is doing that right now too. So it's just, I don't know. It's just really weird that there's this push to make black men effeminate. I don't know what that's about or why, but the Saints Row trailer had that for some. I don't know. It was just very stereotypical, like woman with shaved head, a feminine black tech guy, uh, heavy. The villain is a big buff guy that's dumb and has a big rocket launcher. Like there was nothing, but there was no subversion or no twist or any comedy to it. It just kind of, I don't know. It was very straightforward and dry and lame looking, kind of like Maybe Devil's Third. I don't know if does anyone remember Devil's Third? Is that a game anybody's familiar with? It was a PC game that's supposed to come out and then it never came out. And I think it came out at one point. It was trash, or APB all points. There was APB all points bulletin, and then there was another one. Um, oh my gosh, what was that free roaming game? It was supposed to come out on PC. It was trash. It was from one of the Grand Theft Auto people. Because I think All Points Bulletin was a David Jaffe game. Oh my god, what was that freaking thing called? It was not Devil's Third. It was, oh man, I can't remember. But anyway, point is, the new Saints Row looked very generic and lame and had no personality. It was the exact opposite of that new Marvel XCOM Midnight Suns trailer. Everything that Midnight Suns trailer had, this one had none of. Boo boo boo. Would you like to react to Blade, one of the rappers from Drain Gang? All right, Blade from Drain Gang. We're going to see what that's about right now. I am going to watch this Blade video. I guess I have to type in Blade and. Oh my goodness! I just clicked on YouTube and saw the new Your Boy Zach video. What in the world is happening? It blew up. SJWs make irreversible changes to beloved characters to impress. People are loving it. Whoa, 10K views, and it just came out earlier today? Yeah, 8 hours ago? That's crazy. Anyway, okay. Let's look up Blade. Oh, hold on. What's a Blade song? Oh, listen to Decay. Okay, Decay. All right, so we will move on to Decay from White Armor because I did not get a song from Blade to check out. Oh, this is a Blade song. Okay. White Armor must have just produced it then. All right, let's see what's up. This ambient noise sounds kind of like the Annihilation soundtrack, or maybe like Arrival. This is interesting. Okay, but I like the ambient thing. Oh, that sounds good. Whoa, this came out in 2018. This is crazy. This man should re-release this right now. It would definitely blow up because it sounds exactly like everything on the radio. That's crazy. Yeah, that's definitely a very solid beat too. But even Blade's flow and everything, cadence, all of the auto tune. If he re-released that right now, it would get 100 million views because it's pretty much the style of the time right now. That's what everybody's loving. Um, yeah, so Blade, a visionary. Blade is definitely ahead of his time with what you just showed me because that sounded pretty much like everything on the radio and everything people stream, all the rap stuff. Uh, I remember liking Saints Row 3. Yes, how could you not like Saints Row 3? Saints Row 3 is great. So I hope you like Saints Row 3. It's better than all these boring games people like to just make and play and be bland and be boring. Games are so the same because everybody's afraid to take that risk with the $50 million or $100 million they get to make a game. So I appreciate when things like God of War for PlayStation 4 come out that are totally different from the past. Um, Blake releases song style he'll never dabble back into. Yeah, that's the thing about rappers. A lot of times they might even come up with something interesting and just never care and never want to go back to it. Check out Trash Star. Okay, Trash Star. Let's see what this is about. Trash Star. Okay, let's see what this is about. Look like is it in China? They're filming a music video in China again? Is Blade foreign? Is the Drain Gang, are they Swedish? Because it seems like they're kind of, Blade sounds like he's trying to figure out English as he's rapping this time. English was a little bit clunkier. Kind of reminded me of Iggy Ma from, who was that? I want to say the Koreans that did a rap song. So yeah, it seemed like English was not coming as smooth this time, but the beat was really good and still ahead of its time. That's how I would sum up everything I just heard. Ahead of its time. They definitely gotta re-release all this music so they can start making some real money. Because it sounds exactly like the kind of stuff people eat up on the radio these days. Oh, his native language is Swedish. Okay, well, that explains it because the native language thing was definitely a barrier there. It looked like his flow was kind of struggling to catch on and he was kind of mumbling and stumbling a little bit, but he recovered. So now I know that Blade is really good and the Drain Gang is pretty much the biggest influence on mainstream music right now because everything that I hear on the radio sounds exactly like the Drain Gang. They were at a gaming tournament in Russia. Germany. Okay, so they get down with the games. Okay, that's cool. So I guess it's like people of a certain community get down with the Drain Gang, get down with gaming really heavily. That's interesting. It's pretty interesting. Um, but yeah, I'm kind of tired. So I don't know, listener, if you got anything else you want to let me know about, let me know. If not, been going for about an hour, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Probably hop back on. Yeah, some point tomorrow. I don't know when, but yeah. Uh, when they get older, sure. You said when they get older, I'm sure we'll see a film. So you mean the Drain Gang? How old are the Drain Gang people in? How old are all the Drain Gang members? Yeah, it seemed like they were teenagers in the videos I saw, like probably like 15 or 16 or something there. Or when you said when you say they get older, you'll see a film. Or you still talking about the Drain Gang? Uh, well, oh, Blade is 27. Oh, okay. He looked really young. He looked like he was very young. All those videos made him look super young. So he's 27 and he's like or he's a year younger than me. But that's surprising. I would have thought they were way young. They look really young. I need to go to Sweden and get on an anti-aging regimen or something because they look excellent. They look like they were taking great care of themselves. Oh, he was different. That's. I mean, he could be a shapeshifter. That's an interesting point. I know MF Doom, the rapper, would send out different rappers to rap his music, so people wouldn't necessarily know what he looked like. So it's not outside the realm of possibility. Definitely not anything rare. Not strange or unusual to look different in different videos. I mean, it makes people wanna watch your videos. I might have to get a mask or an outfit or something and do a voice so I can start getting more people watch the videos. Do things a little bit differently. But all right. Guess I'm gonna head on out. Appreciate you stopping by on Shanara. Don't forget to check me out tomorrow or next time. Oh, Doomcock, yeah. There you go. I think he didn't even show his face, so I guess I ruined it. I shouldn't have shown my face so early. I should have held back. I don't know for next time, I guess. Um, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day on this one. But I appreciate y'all, and yeah, he could be a Power Ranger villain, but all right, I'll catch you tomorrow, man. Anybody else watching later on? Feel free to like and subscribe, and let me know how you feel about Candyman. Let me know how you feel about the new Kanye West record. Um, Comment or join the live stream later on and chat. I mean, drop me a line. Let me know what you're thinking about. Let me know if you think it's interesting, not interesting. If the album was working for you, if it wasn't working for you, just let me know in the chat or give me a comment. And talk to y'all later on.